he's saying. If we go back to the just speaking outside on page Reish Samach Bet, where you saw that there's a switch. So he says, so there's a switch which makes everything right side, left side, and middle. So now these are the mochin that are coming into Zer Anpin. So now he had said that if you really wanted to look at it, I'm just speaking this outside, you would say you should the Chagat Nehim, each one of the Chagat Nehim, which are seven sefira, are seven mochin, the seven mochin, that's it. Each one of them has seven within it, the same seven within itself, which makes 49. And then he said that it goes into the 49 when it gets into Zer Anpin, or it comes to Zer Anpin. The spheros themselves have 49 different places where they can go. They go into that. So in other words, you have the Chasadim coming in, the Chasadim, and also the Gevuros at the same time coming to the Zer Anpin and the Das Zer Anpin. And they go, and there are actually 7 of them. He says, not 5, so there's 7. So then he says, okay, so now you have 49 going into 49. You have also the same places. You have Chagat Nehim inside of each one of the Spheros, receiving the Chagat Nehim of Chasadim going into it. Then he goes in, and this is the part that I was really struggling with and trying to understand. So let's say, for example, let's go to page, our favorite page here, page Reish Nun Tes. So if we were dealing with, say, for example, in the blacked out part where we're dealing with the okay, so we're dealing with Chochmah and Bina. And we're going to say, for example, choose one of these places in the Chagat Chagtam, which is going across the top. You choose one of them. So you would take the first one, for example, which is Chochmah. So at that place of Chochmah, that's the place of the sefira that's actually being penetrated by these Chasadim. Chasadim are coming into that sefira. Just take any one of them at the Chabad Chagtam. And so he said, Rabbi Eliyahu Mishan says, is that when you go into the sphere, now what was confusing me here is that, he said there's supposed to be 49 places inside of the sphere, which is a Chagat Nehim, and a Chagat Nehim going, I guess, within inside of each sphere. Then he says that what he says, let's go down to the bottom of page Reish Samach Bet. And let me see one second. Reish Samach Bet. And he says now, let's look at the sefira. Just take any one of those combinations that we saw up above of where the sefira actually is located. And we'll say that inside the Tochen Devarav, so the essence, I guess, of what he's saying, the Kol Achad Masfir B'Kalulva Mitlas Perkin. So that you have a right line now, and a left line, and a middle line. As a result of that, that's going to really verify the reason why in Zer Anpin is always 3 lines. That's why you had to move the Mochin, that's why the Mochin had to move around. Now he says the Perik Elyon, the called Svir is called Chabad, and the Perik Imsoy, Nikra Chagat, Perik Atachton, Nikra Nai. So, what has been confusing me and made it difficult for me is that he just got to this idea of the 49 places, and now he's coming in saying, he's not really contradicting that, he's saying that when they're coming in, the sphere itself is structured in a Chacham Bagadati, with 3 prakim, 4 actually, if you count Malchus. So, V'tachtechem Amedes Malchus Apratir Shala Sphira. But called Perak Tachton, but called Perak Mahatlas Perkin Bahamalchus Kolula Belasaris Spheres Belashosha Kavim, which is Chacham Bagadatim. So each one of them has these 3 lines in it. Calling it 3 lines. So now, so what to do with the 49? I just really, that was bothering me for a long time. I couldn't figure out what he wants to do. And he's not saying exactly how they get divided up. but it says, at any rate, whatever's coming in is going to come into the form of these lines. Now, how's it work? He said, okay, so we know the Chesadim and the Gevuras are both in the Das. But here we take the Chesadim, they come out of the Das, and it's Pasha Begufa to Zer Anpin, and they get into Zer Anpin's body. Now, you're talking about the Spheros of Zer Anpin's body, which are in this 3 lines formation. Shehein Shivas Spheros Atachton is Chagat Nehim. So he says that the body of Zah is the Chagat Nehim. That's what it is. It's 6 Kitzvahs plus Malchus. V'haklal hu shechachasadim is pashtim rak beperik em soy. The roof is like this. Is that the perik em soy over here in our drawing is what was something is happening here? I don't know. This is happening by itself in my okay, I don't know what was going on there. So the Perik Soy. So it's really, he says, it's only going to the Perik Soy, which is the Chagat part, or Perik Tachton, which is the Nai part. It's called Sefira Me'elach Hasheves Sfiras Chagat Nehim. So it goes up into, so we're talking about the Spheros, which we said before, the Chagat Nehim, and he had said that in the Chagat Nehim, there's also, each one of them, of the Chagat Nehim, has also Chagat Nehim in it. So it goes into one of those places, so we'll say one of those places. V'seder his pashtas of Chesadim hu, so the order of how the Chesadim spread. Shebakol yom he mispashtim b'kav echad shel echad meraprakim ba'ofen d'l'chalon, and he's just going to go through it. That each one of them, the words are Shebakol yom he mispashtim b'kav echad. So that's why I ran over to that other place. And I wanted to show you that each one is going into a specific sefira. The sefiras are in the form of Chacham Bagadati. Chacham Bagadati, yeah. So he says like this, now that you know that they're going in there, they're going to go right line, left line, center line. And speaking outside, he's going to go right line, left line, center line of the Chachan, not the Chachan, of the Chagat. Boy, my words mixed up. And then in the next part, it's going to change. It's also going to be part of the Nai. It's going to also come. And I'm looking very closely to see what he's trying to say. So he just wants to say in the first week, the right line is what's going to be affected. So we're dealing with Chagat Chabtam, I believe. So he's B'kav Yomim, which is the Kav called Chacham. And he says it's from the Perek Emsoy, because everything is going into the Perek Emsoy. Because that's where the Chagat is, and that's Zeran Pit is the Chagat Nehem. Okay. Let's see, we lost him there. I believe. We'll be back. Okay, so it's going into this middle section. That's where everything, that is the section where it's, of Zer Anpin in the state of Katniss, which is the state that we're in right now. Perikim Soy, the Chesed, B'yom HaShedi B'chachan the Chagat, the Perikim Soy again, starting with Chagat, the Gevura, B'yom HaShlishi B'chachan the Chagat, the Perikim Soy, the Teferes, B'yom HaRevi B'chachan the Chagat, the Netzach. So it goes right down that the sefira itself is structured as we said, as 7 sefiros, Chagat Nehim. So it's going to go, each day it's going to go into one of those places. Now he's not talking about this is the confusing part for me, but I think it's really straightening out. Inside of the cell itself, outside the cell, the sefira itself, is what the sefira looks like. Coming into the sefira, and the receptacles of the sefiras, which are the 49 and the 49 are coming in, is really based on the structure of the sefira itself. Where you find it in the week, the panoply of the weeks is what we saw on that in the drawing, where you're dealing with the Chabad Chagtam of only those spheros are the spheros which are affected during this period of time. So it's very hard for me to be able to sort out which is Chagat Nehim and which is Chabad Chagat non, was it Chabad Chagat Chagtam, Chabad Chagtam. Wow, getting all my words mixed up. But anyway, let's go. So he said B'yom Revihi B'chachan the Chagat, which is originally the Vok of Zer Anpin, the Netzach, B'yom HaChamish B'chachan the Chagat V'perim Soy, the Hod, B'yom HaShishi B'chachan the Chagat V'perim Soy, the Yisod, B'yom HaShvi B'chachan the Chagat, the Malchus. So, before I go on, I just want to say that I wanted to get for you this, the Siddur, that I have in 2 volumes. I looked over in the farm center, and they only had 1 volume, and it doesn't. You said the Siddur Rechovos HaNahar. It got my head. Oh, you do have it. Actually, you do have it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well then I could look at that and try to touch it up here a little bit better, because it does that. I use that along with that little blue book that he has too, that he gave us. So anyway, I'm trying to work on that. Okay, so that's what the first week is going to go down the right line, and it's going to hit all the 7 spheros in that cell itself. All those, the 49 are the, I guess the 49 of the 49 receptacles are going to be inside of that sphera, and it's going to go down the right line. B'shvuaz. Okay. All right, that was a very short sheer, very difficult set of words. Chagat Nehim is Chesed Gevurah Tiferes Netzach Hod Yisod and Malchus. That's the 7 spheros of Zer Anpin and Katnas. And then they're going into I'm trying to think of what is the technical term for this. The coordinates. There we go. The coordinates of the Chabad Chagtam. Because there's only certain spheros during sefira that we actually deal with. That's my understanding at this point. This is Baruch Fleischman.